Insidious. If you're watching this video, maybe you still have a chance. My outcome is already determined. You, however, can change everything. But that depends on you, not someone else. Now, before I explain anything, you need to do the most important thing of all. If you have an iPhone with the Intelligence Booster application installed on it, you're at risk and you're endangering everyone's survival. So stop what you're doing, remove the battery, and drop the infected device in the nearest toilet or sink. Trust me, what I'm about to tell you is far more important than the $600 you spent for the phone. Now, I don't have much battery life left on this flip video camera, maybe only 10 minutes. So I gotta tell you the truth about Malcolm Jacobs as quickly as possible. Eventually, he's gonna find me hiding in this broom closet or cut the Wi-Fi in the building, which will prevent me from uploading this video when I'm finished. That much I do know. Everything else is in your hands. All right, now pay attention. Any information Malcolm wants to attain about any individual, as long as it's stored somewhere in their temporal lobe, the part of the brain that controls memory function, can be downloaded off his Intelligence Booster server if they've installed the app and have their phone within 100 feet of them. I know, this might sound like some George Orwell 1984 bullshit. I had the same reaction when I stumbled over the details. But I'm no Winston Smith, and Malcolm has far more control than Big Brother ever dreamed of. Just hear me out. Yeah, I know, they joked about the memory eaters on all the cable news shows when they first came out 2 years ago. But the hype turned vicious as soon as Malcolm figured out how he could sneak his agenda into the technology. It's actually pretty simple. Basically, he stole the source code from one of the original memory eater test computers. Then he tweaked the functions of the code and wrote an application for iPhones that could manipulate users' memories without them ever knowing. According to the limited amount of data I swiped on my flash drive from Malcolm's work terminal, he's been perfecting and rewriting the code since the inception of this technology. At least that's how far back his records go. Hang on. I hear something. I gotta hurry this up. Now, I don't know how we got the original code. I didn't have enough time to dig that deep. But Malcolm must have had some access when the government started tapping into the temporal lobe with voice recognition software and manipulating certain parts of the memory. But obviously, he didn't stop there. Nope. Before I figured out what he was up to, Malcolm showed me a YouTube video of the test experiments. At the time, I just thought it was one of those prank videos you'd see on Tosh.0. But now, with this evidence, I know it's real. In the video, they took this naive Mexican guy, hooked him up to a memory eater prototype, and convinced him to start talking into a black digital box. It was hooked up to a memory eater. They promised him he'd learn English in under an hour, and they'd overlook his recent border jumping. Next thing I see, they rearranged his memory and inserted a 4-hour pole dancing class. The chunky little guy had better moves than Lady Gaga on methamphetamines. It was surreal. That's just what they did for laughs. It gets worse. Malcolm told me that if he got his hands on that type of technology, he'd take his grandma, put her on a park bench adjacent from an ATM, and insert the ability to decipher people's PIN numbers by remembering the sounds of the digits they pressed on the number pad. Then he'd have her get up and clean out their accounts. We had a good laugh at the time, but looking back on it, I'm pretty sure that's how we generated the funds to purchase the equipment to design his iPhone app. And that's when he recruited me. You see, 6 months ago, I was fresh out of DeVry University and had landed the security guard job for our office building. He knew I saw employees on their way in and out of the building and that I was a people person. Likable, I guess you could say. After a few brief interactions with Malcolm, he figured out that I was eager to get my foot in the door at Techno Solutions, the company he was engineering for. And then he found out I was a sucker for get-rich-quick schemes. That's when he threw out his offer. He told me he had programmed an app that would allow users to maximize brain function just by installing it on their phone. All they had to do was hold their phone up to their ear, just like a normal phone call, for 90 seconds, and the app would analyze the user's current brain capacity. Meanwhile, Malcolm was downloading every memory the user ever had. Everything from last night's baseball scores to the secret they've been holding on to since 1996, when they slept with their best friend's sister. After 90 seconds, all the user had to do was punch in the data they wanted to know. For example, if they wanted to learn how to be an actor, they just typed in, learn to act. And as long as they had enough download capacity, the app would allow that. After that, he was in control. Not only did he have access to the information on their phones, but also anyone attached to the phone. Yeah, that means anyone in the phone's directory, or who sent a phone call, text, Facebook message, tweet, or any other kind of communication to the person with the infected phone. As long as the message was sent, Malcolm had access. Someone followed a celebrity on Twitter, and if the celebrity responded to the tweet, Malcolm then had access to the celebrity. He designed the daisy chain from hell. Wait a second. Malcolm must be close. I just heard footsteps pass by. I gotta finish this up as quick as possible. So Malcolm told me I could make 20 bucks for each app I sold. I started out making only a few $100, but the app gained popularity. I saw the payday take off. Before I knew it, I had made more money in under an hour than the sum of my weekly paycheck. And as a recent IT graduate, I started to get inquisitive about the functions and the inner workings of the app. Malcolm showed me as much as he felt comfortable with, but I wanted to know more and more. Things didn't seem to add up. I noticed odd behaviors from straight-laced employees of the building. The VP of the insurance company on the 3rd floor began behaving like a teenage girl. He'd show up wearing Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus t-shirts over his suit. My guess is that the app was too closely programmed to his daughters, and he started to take on her personality traits. A bug I don't think Malcolm planned for. So as a security guard and having access to every room in our building, I waited for Malcolm to go to lunch and then swiped as much off his work terminal as I could with my flash drive. But somehow he figured me out and... fuck! This flip video battery's about dead. Okay, so here's what you need to do. Send out this link in as many emails as you can. Post it to every blog you can find. Give it odd titles that'll force people to open it up. Call it Megan Fox has sex with Larry King. Call it Sarah Palin discovers cure for AIDS. Call it the Pope breakdances with Barack Obama. Whatever you do, just get this video out. Even if you don't believe me and think this is all bullshit, send it. I can't guarantee Malcolm won't find a way around this little hurdle I've thrown him. But I do know that if we don't work together on this, and if you keep relying on technology as much as we have for petty entertainment and shortcuts like the intelligent booster, Malcolm wins. So do your part. It's only a matter of minutes before Malcolm finds me and turns me into a digital martyr. Please, treat this video with